Thank you.
Do you want to pimp out your show?
Do I fucking what?
Yeah,
I thought you'd never ask. Mind your stupid website.
Yeah.
ReggieBlackrockRoad.com. Tour dates on there. So actually, you said you're in Coachford in May, is it?
I am, yeah.
I think I'm there later on in the year, but September. I'm in Kinsale, in St. Catherine's. I'm in Connolly's in Lepp. I'm in Dolan's in Limerick. Kind of they're the ones that are coming. Ballincollig, Whitehorse and Ballincollig. Coming up, and I'm in the Kilbrittain Festival in August.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
We'll put a link to your website.
I'll say ReggieBlackrockRoad.com is the.
And we'll put it into the body here as
there.
well, so people can go straight onto your website. And come and support live comedy, lads. Come and support live comedy.
We'll fucking stop and go back to working in IT.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Conversations with Cornelius. I'm a comedian. This podcast is about my life, my wife, my likes and dislikes, hurling, football, movies, sex, drugs and rock and roll without the sex, drugs and rock and roll. There are going to be special guests and always regular contributors, but mostly it's going to be me and my main squeeze, the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius. I'm your host, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, and I am in the Fearless Digital Network studios. And how am I? Well, I'm telling you now, I'm up and down like a whore's knickers. That's how I am, all right? I was at the Cork match at the weekend. We played Tipperary. By the time this podcast comes out, we could be out of the fucking Munster Championship, or we could be into the next, into the All-Ireland series, because it's not coming up for about 3 or 4 weeks, which you don't need to know because you're listening right now. So why did I bring that up? I don't fucking know. Anyway, I'm up and down like a whore's knickers. I'm balancing on a thin wire. That's what I am. I'm finding things great some days and absolutely, oh my God, I want to tear the hair, whatever hair is in my body, out of my head the next days. I don't know how you're feeling anyway, but that's how I am. But you asked. I didn't ask you. I'm praying away, saying hello to Holy God on most of the days, and mainly looking for protection. You know, that's what I'm looking for at the moment. Just look after me now, God, will you? Look after my family. Look after me. Keep me safe on the roads. And I've started to ask him for a bit of cash now as well. And yeah, nothing coming in yet, but God is good, as they say. Yeah, that's me, really. Like, that's me. Cork gigs. I'm in Paddy Max on the 16th of May. This could coincide with that going out, and if it does, how sweet that would be. I think that would be perfect. But I have a load of more dates on my website, www.corneliuspatrickosullivan.com, and yeah, go on and see me there. If you want to come and see me live, I'm in Kerry, Limerick, Cork, Tipperary, and many, many more. There's no more. They're just the 4 places that I'm in. But I will be putting in more. Anyway, also I have a Patreon for $5 a month, less than the price of a cup of coffee in certain parts of Cork, and definitely less than the price of a pint. €5 a month, and you get an extra episode every single week with me and the missus, which is, you know, brilliant if you're into that kind of stuff. Like, I'm contractually obliged to do it. Would I listen to it myself? Yeah, I would, big time. Yeah, I would. It's great. Definitely tune into that. And just, if you know what, just give me the $5. Don't bother listening, is what I would say. Do you know, that kind of way? You'll be just supporting me, and I just love that. All right, okay. Now, that's enough about me. I think we're about time to bring on the guest. Today's guest, I have a little bit of an intro written here, as is my norm. No, I will be looking at you during the interview, just in case you think I wasn't looking at you at all.
Thank
there.
God.
All right, you were thinking, what's this fucking ball?
Why am I here at all?
Yeah. All right, okay, here you go. You ready? All right, because I put a lot of effort into this now.
Good. I'll give you a mark out of 10.
Brilliant. I love to be judged. Now, I will critique your critique then, and we'll see what you get out of that then. All right, okay. Today's guest is as much a surprise to you as he is to me. We've never met. Yet strangely, I feel I know him, and I think you'll probably know him as well. Okay? Well, you know, I don't exactly know him, you know. I know a version of him. He's a professional, look, I got this now on his LinkedIn, right? Okay. A professional copywriter, journalist, and broadcaster. And as I said, that's from LinkedIn, so it can't be a lie. And I first stumbled across this guest digitally. Do that what you want, okay? His online comedy sketches and he's now nationally recognised character. Reggie has audiences all over the island of Ireland breaking their hole laughing. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me tremendous joy to welcome this week's guest to the stage. Could you please put your hands together for Pat Fitzpatrick?
I'm applauding your... Yeah, that was superb. Yeah,
Wow.
You can add introducer to your LinkedIn page now.
I must get a LinkedIn page in the first
Don't
place.
believe I'm not a professional copywriter anymore because nobody is, thanks to AI, I'd say.
When was the last time you did a bit of copywriting?
I used to do copywriting for large supermarkets up to about 5 or 6 years ago. So I do things like press ads. So you kind of, I won't name the supermarket, but
Okay.
those kind of big centre spread ads. I don't know if they even still do them now, but you'd put in a great effort into trying to write some clever stuff for whatever offers they had, and then they'd always go with cheap chickens, right? So you'd have spent a whole week, but you get paid loads for it.
Yeah.
And you'd build this evocative story of, an aspirational housewife. We all had these kind of notions of different categories that they were trying to hit. Cheap chickens every Sunday. But now it turns out AI can do cheap chickens.
Yeah, and there's
all
cheap
by
as shit.
itself. Yeah.
Has AI completely eradicated that industry?
My guess is it has, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. And I think, in a way, sometimes it's kind of like a lot of the media as well. It's so repetitive. AI, it's a sitting duck for AI because if you're doing the same thing every week, AI is going to do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say probably better, but over time, it's definitely better.
Yeah.
It's coming for us all. What about journalism? How is it going to affect journalism?
Well, I mean, the journalism I used to do, there was a living. I used to work in IT, so I did engineering in college, did IT for a long time, lived in Dublin. And then kind of fell into writing for the Sunday Independent. I know Brendan O'Connor, he was the editor of the Life magazine. So he used to write this kind of jokey article. He kind of try a bit there. And then I kind of went, 2008, I took the full-time step, just about 5 minutes before the economy collapsed. Celtic Tiger madness. Sure, what could possibly... Journalism, that's where the money is. There's no money in IT. That's going nowhere. That'll be gone. Ironically, that's going to be gone too. But I started writing kind of freelancey stuff. And just like that, that's now pretty much like there was a living to be made from writing 2 or 3, 4 features a week, kind of, it's big or small. That's gone now. Mainly,
gone?
well, because newspapers are gone. Like the
Yeah.
money is gone from newspapers.
Yeah. When was the last time you bought a newspaper?
I remember there's photographs of me with the kids trying to hold on to my life on a Sunday morning with like the newspapers around me.
Yeah.
And, kids sitting on my face or something, that kind of cliched face that you'd actually see in a newspaper that you were reading. I suppose that was 10 years ago.
Jesus, yeah.
When you buy the Sunday papers?
Yeah, I used that was my thing. I used to say to Noel, look, I'm not gonna get a paper now every week. I'm gonna get the Sunday papers, and I'd always get the Sunday Times, and then just to balance it off, the Sunday World, and for the football, and the tits, and but I'd read on Sunday. But when I was growing up, when I was serving my time, I used to be sent down to the shop to get all the mechanics their 11 o'clock breaks, food. And nearly every mechanic would get the Sun or the Mirror or whatever. And you'd be just like, people bought newspapers all the time, and it's just an industry that has completely evaporated. Obviously, it's gone online, but I think there was something nice and tangible about having a newspaper.
Well, it was also an escape. Like you escaped into this thing.
Yeah.
And it was one thing. You went from page to page. You weren't scrolling, so you weren't going
Exactly.
jumping around. It was like mindful.
Do you know
Reading the
what?
newspaper was mindful. Like you could escape.
I've never thought of it like that. It actually was quite mindful, and it is like, you have your phone now and everything is online. I get all my news online. I hardly watch the television, and I might listen to a little bit on the radio, but I certainly don't buy a newspaper anymore.
I subscribe to a couple of them online.
I subscribe to them online. That's what I mean. Like it's the Examiner actually is who I'm subscribed to at the moment. And then I'll go and I might have a look at articles elsewhere. But there was something very mindful about buying your newspaper and what I'd do is I'd always read the front page and the actual news, and then go into the middle, and you might find something interesting there, and you'd always save the sports for last. That's the way I used to do it, and then but it could be an hour and a half.
I'd be the other way around.
Would you the other way around?
I'd eat my meat first, so I'd be onto the back page straight away.
Yeah. I used to try and delay the gratification. But
very Catholic of you.
Listen.
I was jumping straight in for the Easter egg.
Listen. That's very Protestant of you.
Yeah.
What you have for your breakfast?
Oh, you had? Oh my God, I'm going to sound like such a wanker now. I actually did have porridge with berries and organic yogurt and East Cork honey. I am that wanker. And an espresso that I made in my own machine with beans that So I'm a breakfast wanker, like there's no doubt about it. So sorry about that. No, you were going to say the breakfast roll or something.
No. 'Cause my wife had something similar now this morning. What did I have this morning? Jesus, I'm trying to think there now. I had fajitas.
What, like, are you kind of back from the States or something?
No, we were having
jet lagged.
We were. I'm on the Manjaro. I took the started.
I saw that. Yeah.
And so my
is that a side effect that you end up having your dinner for
you just
breakfast?
Eat fajitas as a side effect.
Right.
You're just eating like wake
interesting.
up.
No name like Manjaro is quite a Mexican name. So
yeah. She's a pop star over there as well.
Right.
It's just it's weird. Noelle was like, I'm going making fajitas this evening. I said, oh, lovely. I won't be hungry now at all this evening. I said, sure, I'm going away up to Cork. She goes, do you want them now? And I said, go on, we'll have them now.
I know what you mean though.
Yeah.
I'm like that because the kids have slightly kind of sugarier food in the morning, and if they leave anything, because you want to treat yourself in the morning, don't you? Like it's kind of, especially now, I find the mornings you get to stay in time of the year. Because you've kids as well, don't you? So the school year is
how many have you got?
I've 2, I think.
I think I've 2.
So if you had 10, what are they? 12 and 13.
Oh, yeah.
So they're great, but like it's this time of the year, kind of mid-April. You're running out of steam. You're sick of them.
Yeah.
But you're sick of the mornings. You're sick of if there's a bit of honey on a spoon, I'm eating it.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. If someone put a fajita in front of me this morning, I'd have brought it in here for you.
Sour cream and guac as well, all that kind of stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, get it into you. That's interesting. A little interesting insight into you there now with your breakfast. So did you, with the coffee, did you have milk in the coffee?
Oh, Jesus, no.
Black?
No. I know in North Cork now. No, do you know what happened to me? I would normally, I lived here in Germany. I lived with 2 Italian fellas.
Yeah.
Which was
fair play to you.
a lesson in itself.
Is this your coming out story?
Not really. No. Other than like it's a kind of one of them was literally from the town of Corleone in Sicily, and he wanted to know if I'd be interested in selling entirely legitimate Levi's out of the back of a car in Dublin when I went back to Dublin. So there's a whole movie to be made there if I didn't do it. But what they did do is they kind of introduced me to espresso. So the mocha, the coffee mocha.
Yeah.
This was in the 90s. Now in Ireland, you were still getting it out of an urn, Bewley's, like if you were kind of an intellectual. But they introduced me to very strong coffee and jittery and shaking. They were like by the end of the night, particularly the guy from Corleone. Now he was probably on the run as well, so like he was very nervous anyway. But by the end of the day, he'd have 7 of these and about 47 cigarettes with each coffee. But he was like he would literally he'd be shaking in front of you but I can only kind of really drink espresso now. I hate weak coffee.
So is it's like, would you have a double espresso or?
I wouldn't, because actually, did you ever get a coffee hangover?
I did. Yeah.
Worst thing. Like if you go, I
definitely get the coffee jitters if I have too much coffee.
I feel sick. Like I feel it's all over, game over. I have to lie down. I literally have to lie down. If I have a second, it doesn't really agree with me.
One coffee. One a day?
I've one then at lunchtime as well. Yeah. That's it then. I wouldn't have another one again. I'd be toast.
I can't. I'm
or fajitas, as you probably call
it. Yeah. Look, I think we got a fair insight into you there. Now, what kind of breakfast you have? What's your crack? What's the story with you? We're going to get into this section of the podcast, Pat. That's called Trending Topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan.
Pay to get the jingle done properly.
Do you think so?
I don't know. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Because I actually thought we were going to have to call an ambulance there. It looked like you'd glitched. Like I thought, Jesus, after stopping.
I was squeezing the sphincter there to get the height note.
No.
Yeah.
You made it all right, in fairness.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah. No, because initially I wanted to get a bit of a jingle in, but Alessio was like, no, man.
No jingles. Alessio, go for the jingles. Yeah. Seriously. Honestly.
We might have to look into it.
Yeah.
So this game, Pat, for those of you who don't know, who've just tuned in for the first time, these are things that were trending today, be it on X or Twitter or just in general on the news, and we'll just see where we go. So the first one is #TheDollar. The dollar. Do you have any dollars on you?
No.
Have you been to the States?
I've been to the States. Do you know the kind of person that, like, they're usually budding entrepreneurs, which is the kind of a late stage word for unemployed. But they talk about the dollars. They will say, "Oh, that's $30." Irish people.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Or like, I remember the first time I saw it was that kind of Americanism was fellas who'd come home from the J1. This would have been now. I'm very old, so like this would have been the kind of mid '80s, and they'd start talking about having beers. We'll go for beers.
Go for beers.
What the fuck is beers?
Yeah.
Right? Can I curse this? Is that all right?
Absolutely.
All right.
It's encouraged.
That's it. I've used it up now. I'm only allowed one. So, but they go for, and that was. Remember the '80s? We wear sweatshirts with USA on them. This fascination with America.
Oh yeah, I was in my I was about 11, 12 coming out of the 80s, but so I would remember, and my uncles and aunts were all like late in their teens, so I was kind of very heavily influenced by them, and they were very heavily influenced by America.
Yeah.
But it was MTV and all that kind of carry on. It was cool. Michael Jackson and Bon Jovi and
pretty shit enough music.
Fucking Michael Jackson has some great tunes.
Well, we won't. That's another. I never liked him as a musician either, and that was the bit you're supposed to like.
Yeah,
Michael Jackson.
I suppose. Well, if you didn't like him as a musician, you're not going to like him as a
all the other
human.
stuff's great. All the other stuff, Michael Jackson, honestly, top notch. It's just the music lets him down, really, in my book. But it was a thing. Like I remember going to my kids are always going to me, "What's America like?" Even now, because I'm going, I said, it looks brilliant. Like I remember going in. I went in '86, I think, on the J1, and ended up as a cutting grass in Long Island in Montauk. Just brilliant. I've always liked America when I go there. In a way, it's kind of funny now because we all hate it because of Trump and all that. But like anytime I go to America,
the people are lovely.
I like it. The people are lovely.
Yeah.
It's interesting. They're kind of zany. They're not what you think they're going to be.
Yeah, they're in their own, definitely in their own world, 100%.
Yeah,
you know?
and you kind of realise, because I ended up working in, like, with Irish people, you end up going to New York, Chicago, Boston, but then I ended up working in Dallas quite a bit.
Jesus, so did I. That's gas. I worked in Dallas as well, yeah.
You know, them Southern
I was cleaning windows.
I was actually, because I was working for a US company up in the airport, and I don't know why, but they'd fly me to Dallas sometimes, I don't know. But like, Dallas, I mean, it's shit, really. It's an awful place. You know, there's no... I remember,
shout out to Uncle Mike.
Yeah, I know.
One of the patrons. Probably gone now because of you cunt.
Yeah. I have my own patron. If he's interested in switching...
Switch over to Reggie's there, lads.
I can switch to me. I am at Houston. If you think Dallas is bad, you should see fucking Houston. Oh, that's a dive altogether. But I just... Like, Dallas... It was the fellas I met in Dallas that I was working with. And this is awful in a way, but like... my first experience really of obesity, as in like 100% obesity, is I found I had to kind of take little baby steps along the corridor in the office, because otherwise you'd be passing everybody out, because they couldn't. I know this is awful now, but they were all very big men and women, so they just walked really slowly down the corridor, and you were kind of going, fuck's sake, like kind of, you know. So I found myself kind of, but. They were so nice. Like, you know, because we had this notion, and they were racist and religious bigots, but very nice with it. You know, that kind of like, because I'm not saying, not of course racism deserves a bad name, but like, they were doing their best, in fairness, to do their best.
To be nice racists.
You know, but they weren't racist to that sense. But like, it was a bonkers place though.
I found Texas bonkers now.
Yeah.
I found Texas bonkers. My uncle lives over there, and he's happily married, and I have cousins over there, and I love them all, and they're actually lovely people now. And they're actually quite normal, but that's probably because Mike is Irish, do you know, that kind of way, and he brought the kids up kind of Irish, and Debbie's super chill. But I met people out there, oh my God, I'm like, they're batshit crazy, and they were just normal, getting on with their life, like, but batshit crazy, you know?
No.
And the food, like, well, sure, look, listen, it's like...
Fajitas for breakfast.
You know, fajitas were just a common for, like, I actually nearly had to be wheeled out of there, and I wasn't there that long.
Did you have barbecue, what they call barbecue, where you go to pickup truck to a kind of a trough with a whole load of really big men and eat out of a trough? There was like about 4 different kinds of meat, and then black beans.
Were you conscious when this was going on then, were you?
But you'd not by the end of it. And then what really struck me is like you'd eat your body weight in dead animals and beans, black beans, right?
That was the health. The Tex-Mex.
Yeah, but it was nice. Like, and then in the end, what I really liked was you got like a free ice cream, like in a cone. Like it was like the wafer tin mints. Like, oh shit, I was doing really well. I can't eat this free ice cream. But I loved them, and they were like, because there's something about going to New York and Boston that isn't like going away at all. You could end up having a very Irish experience.
Yeah. Well, I think all the cities are kind of morphing into each other anyway around the globe.
Yeah,
it's when you get into the countryside that you see you just see a different sect of society. But no, I found America weird. Obviously, I wouldn't be for their politics at all. I think their government are absolutely a joke altogether. I'm quite vocal on that. But the people I've met over there were, as you say, you know, look, there's good and bad in everyone, I suppose, as the song goes. But in general, do you know what they are, right? And they're exactly what we're not. They're just, well done. Go you.
Oh, yeah. No,
oh, my God.
Yeah.
You
They're
got
positive.
a book?
Yeah.
Where can I buy it?
Yeah.
Do you want some money for it now? Come on, let's get some beers.
Yeah.
Celebrate that.
No, they were.
You know, and you'd be just like, that's
You're not allowed to be cynical there.
Yeah.
What I found, like, funnily enough, my sister lived in Chicago, and she lived in a kind of a hipster part of Chicago, so hipsters are miserable fuckers, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, sourdough, it's horrible bread, like it is really. And they're miserable, so they were kind of really cynical, but they wanted to be European. They all had Blur t-shirts, and they were kind of the haircuts and the Adidas runners, and they were kind of, they should have been living in London. And they hated it. And I told them I'm going to Dallas. And you're going to have the rednecks down in Dallas. Oh, God, I hate rednecks. And I remember going down to the rednecks going, it's going to be fucking terrible now. And sure, I love the rednecks. They were fucking much easier because they were themselves, you know, and they were odd. They're odd in their own way.
Yeah.
But they were much happier. Jesus
Christ, what we used to do, right, and it was some of the happiest days of my life, we would go cleaning windows in 35, 40 degree heat. The sweat would be pumping off you. We'd do these big, huge, massive houses. There'd be about $500, $600 to do the house. I'd get $100, but I'd be staying with Mike. And we'd finish work at 1, 2 o'clock. We'd stop off somewhere. We'd buy a big load of beer, throw it into the back of the truck, and then we'd go to a pub and we'd have 1 or 2 pints in the pub.
Beers the pub.
No, we'd have 1 or 2 pints in the pub, and then we'd drive on then, because there was like, you can drink and drive over there, no bother, which I don't condone, but I'm just saying that's the way it is over there.
Yeah.
You can drink, and the only way they can pull you over is if you fuck up. And my uncle was so good at not fucking up while paralytic. Do you know what I mean? He was just, it was a skill.
So if you're looking for a lift in Dallas, call Mike anytime.
You know, that was a talent that he had.
Yeah.
And we'd go back then, we might get back to the house at about 5 o'clock, and we'd go into the garage, open up the garage, and it was just roasting, like really roasting. Crack open a few cold ones, put on the radio, and then Deb would come in the truck, she'd be finished around 5:30, and she'd sit down and join us, and we'd drink away there till 9 or 10 o'clock. No television, listening, talking, singing songs, cousins would be coming in. Jesus, and like, no.
That's the most Irish story, though. We did a bit of work in the morning, then we drank.
And we drank solidly.
Through to 9 o'clock.
And that was it. And that was just the way it was.
Someone turned up in a truck, she joined us, we drank a bit with her.
And we would swear blind every single Sunday. We would swear blind, the both of us, this week we won't go drinking now. We won't go drinking this week. This is it now. And Monday we wouldn't. And we would celebrate then on Tuesday that we didn't go drinking on Monday. And off you go again.
Back up and running.
And that was the way it was.
At that age, though, like, how old were you then?
I was young now. I was young enough now.
I remember when I moved to Dublin, how the weekend moved back to Tuesday. And you'd be going out Tuesday night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then the first sign I was getting old is when I stopped going out on a Saturday, because I was so fucked from going out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah.
And now I don't go to it. But the energy you have at that stage, you should be doing it, really.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of just, there was nothing else to do. Do you know? Do you not drink at all now anymore?
I do a bit, like, but it's, you know, first of all, I kind of live in the country. I kind of have, but I wouldn't drink during the week. I very rarely, I don't particularly enjoy one beer.
If you were going for a few beers now, to coin the phrase, right? What's your ideal scenario?
Well, that there's beer.
Obviously. Yeah.
Early, 5 o'clock out. So preferably a bit of food in the pub, so I don't have to move.
Lovely.
Beamish usually. Or else, like, Tisky. I drink, you know, that Polish beer.
Oh, yes, I do.
€2 in Lidl.
Yes.
It is absolutely beautiful beer.
Back in the day now, when I was bushing, I'd drink a bit of Tisky.
Tisky's bushing beer.
Yeah.
And I drink that a bit at home, but like I kind of have this kind of, I don't know if you get it, you get this kind of weird mini piss up where you get this kind of flashback to being out after one drink. And then it goes away. Like you've another one, you go, I'd have a cup of tea then.
Yeah.
That was it. That was me. It was like kind of a morsel, an Instagram story of being out as against the real thing.
Would you go out with your wife or would you go out with your friends? Or
I do both. Because the kids are that age, it's kind of a bit trickier to both of us to get out together. So we kind of maybe have, I've seen you referencing the data, for instance, at home, open the data. So a bit of that. And then I'd kind of, it's that one of those ones where you fancy a pint on a Friday, go down to the Blackbird or McGrath's and Ballycotton.
Oh, lovely.
Just have, obviously nobody goes for a pint.
Yeah.
And then, you know, my wife's duty would be to, the collection then.
Yeah.
And all is safe. But like if I actually have 5-6 pints, which you could do, but like the payback is what, 3 days lost?
It's definitely 3 days, I'd be all out now. I had 2 pints this weekend and I have hardly drank it all now this year. But I do miss the drinking culture that was around when I was growing up. I do miss the I don't mind not drinking all the time, but I want everyone else to be going out getting locked. Do you know what I mean? So
stories.
So that I can fall in if I want to get into the adventure. I feel those adventures are kind of gone now. You know, I see like all my friends are all very serious now, and when we're going, we've planned now to go to the Cork Kerry match this year down in Clarny. Okay. Please God, we beat Tipperary in the next round. If we do, we've got the train tickets organised. We've got the wives are dropping us in, and that'll be a throwback.
What'll be your cans now? Will you have cans?
Definitely have. You're not allowed drinking the train now, so we'll but we'll sneak them in. They won't get away with it. They won't get away with that with us. No way. The Ballyclaw Ultras, and then we'll get down and we'll in the pub, and we'll sip away nice and gently till the game, and it'll be the one game where I won't be analysing it a whole pile. Do you know, that kind of way.
Will you do a video of that?
I don't know if I'll do a video of that game because it could be very messy, you know, and I probably won't. I'd say, although I wouldn't mind doing it because I do think that's an interesting aspect of Irish culture that is definitely dying off. The sesh heads going to the GAA. Like, remember when I was going to matches when I was younger, my father would collect his friends along the spots, like Jimmy DeLeg in here and Philip Big Nose here and fella here, and the next thing there'd be 6 lads inside the car.
Is Jimmy DeLeg a real person?
Definitely,
Because I have a character that I invented in my latest show called Timmy DeLeg. And the whole point is that it's supposed to be a ridiculous name. There you go. Nothing's ridiculous.
Nothing's ridiculous in
Ireland.
No. And they drink away all day, and you know that was the way it was. Now again, it is completely wrong, like to drink and drive. I'm not condoning it, but I'm just saying they'd want to get these cars made now very quickly, that the self-drive cars will bring back the sessions.
They will, yeah.
You know?
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I do know that thing of being half pissed going into a game.
Yeah.
And being able to
let loose a small bit, you know, and it's just you have to look. If you're traveling the roads, the roads are busier now. You have to behave, but I
went to a Bundesliga match, would you believe it, in Germany a couple of weeks ago with my son. We were over there, and you get a free train ticket or bus for that whole region for that day, right? You buy beer in the ground, and everyone's drinking, but there's no segregation. So it was Mainz and Hoffenheim, but the fans were in together on the train. Brilliant. And but because there's no culture, and just like here, there's no culture of violence.
Yeah.
You know, I go to a Man United game and you can feel the
tension.
You can feel the tension at English matches, but it's brilliant out. And like that, they're drinking on the train as well.
Yeah.
No problems. So.
Why did you go to that game now?
Because we went to Europa Park with the kids. This makes it sound like we've money now, right? We came into a bit of money and it's all fucking gone, right? Before you can keep your begging letters now, Mike. no, you've got the bit of money to give you in the Patreon. And then it was nearby. It was the nearest one. It was really easy to get. But it's a brilliant experience.
Yeah.
The singing, the atmosphere, but just how casual it was.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mean in casual West Ham way.
I know what you mean.
Like just
safe and
safe. A bit like going to a GA match here. And that same experience, like where everyone's in together and people can be rowdy and slagging. And
there was a bit, we were in Thurles now this weekend, Cork and Tipperary, and all the fans were just mingling. And there was girls with Cork lads and Cork lads with Tip girls and crack going on and banter and everyone going into Centra and like blue and gold and red and blue and gold and centenary jerseys, young and old. And look, it is just a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I think it needs to be celebrated a bit more. I think the GA are missing a huge trick actually with the promotion of GA, of the culture that embodies the whole match day scenario.
Yeah, and you did the classic Irish thing when I tried to pay you a compliment and you took it as an insult. When I said that your videos are an art form, you said, how fucking dare you accuse me of being an artist? And I was going, no, they're brilliant. How fucking you'll be hearing from my solicitor over this. But it does capture, it's like there's a bit of the, you don't have diddly eye music playing in the background. You're not putting on an accent. I mean, you actually do speak like that. I thought you were putting on an accent, but it turns out no. But like, you're not putting on anything. You're being yourself.
Yeah.
So like, just get them to give you the money for because TikTok. The one thing TikTok has done, particularly TikTok, because it's younger, it's shone a light into other areas that can't get on broadcast. For instance, I mean, farming is the obvious one, where suddenly people are doing videos of themselves on a tractor. So you can actually get a view on rural Ireland. And even on TikTok, you get to TikTok, just the experience of people at matches. You can see how many young people now are going to the matches together in the colours. Like before, it was people more with their parents, wasn't it? Like, whereas young people seem to go.
It's just. I just think it's a GA match is a microcosm of an Irish family. I always or even a national school. It's like, there's young and old all the way up, and there's all different relationships. There's father and son, mother and daughter, families going together, going with your friends, going by yourself, going with your dad. Like, it's just, there's so many little things. And then there's just so much that goes on that you just drive past very quickly on the day. And it's, I think that there's like, even with the GA, like in general, there's a few things there that like, I think they're doing great work, but like, there's no show now on a Tuesday, to go, like there was like great, it was Westmeath and Meath played now during the week, and there was no coverage at all on the television of that game.
Really?
And that's a local derby. Like, I mean, if they had their brain there now, they'd send someone like Reggie in to go into Westmeath and Cornelius in to go to Meath and do a little bit of report and blah, 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 and then come back into the studio and mesh it in together. And
so if you're watching an RTE, we're both applying for that job.
Let's do it. Jarlath, sort us out. Do you know what I mean? But like, and then you're getting two people who like just a different view of what is quintessentially Irish, and it's evolving. I see it changing. Like what I was saying to you, Blair, like the olden times of my father driving and his friends hopping into the car and they all drink driving and going from pub to pub. That was every household. That's completely gone now. It's like teetotal. Everyone is, but people still have the sandwiches in the tinfoil and and like, there's still beauty there. But anyway, look, we have to move on. We're talking shit here now. Hashtag the Kinahans.
Yeah.
Kinahan actually is what's trending. I think he got arrested there yesterday.
I actually kind of afraid to say anything about this. Like, you're kind of hoping, you'll have something to say. Well, yeah, kind of.
Well, drugs, I suppose. He was selling drugs, was he? Definitely, like.
Well, allegedly.
Yeah. Sorry. Look, I don't know, was he? He's shitting it. Reggie's shitting it. Don't go near Reggie. Don't go near me either.
Look, if you have to shoot one of us, right, I got to tell you.
Miss.
I'm wearing a bulletproof.
If you have to take a shot, go above my head.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, the one thing that struck me was because he got into the boxing, wasn't it?
Well, he was the fella that was arrested, Daniel, is it? Yeah. He was the kind of the main. He's the main son, and the other fella was the quiet fella.
Okay.
The boxing, promoters. They moved out to Dubai, but they're. I
don't know. I never. The only thing is, and it's kind of a tangent from it, was the whole Dubai thing and the influencers when that happened with the kind of relish that we took. We're kind of a nasty relish that we took, that all these influencers had to come home as if they're not people too.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think. Like, I just got that.
I just think there's, so yes, I would definitely think that's wrong. However, I still think it's okay to laugh at it for 30 seconds.
Oh, listen, no, I'm talking 2 or 3 days. Like, I honestly, no. I'm not pretending to be a good person here. Like, I was delighted. And like, I don't particularly like the notion of the kind of I was an expat for a year in Germany that time, because I didn't speak German. So it was you're kind of, the Italians were great in a way, because basically you got to meet a lot of women, because they'd just pick people up. They'd literally start shouting out the window at a bus stop or something. And then there'd be a woman, I'm getting into the car with them. You know, the weirdest things would happen with them. But other than that, I was pretty much just English and Irish people in an expat community. And I was kind of thinking, you know, I met some great friends, with a nice time, but like, really, I miss Dublin so much. I missed being able to living in my own. And that thing of going to Dubai and kind of parachuting into this kind of closed community of people.
Where you don't pay any tax.
Well, that's the other thing about it, the reason you're doing it. But you look, I mean...
It was very transactional for me, like.
It was, yeah. It is, of course. Yeah, like, there's no relish in it.
Yeah. Like, and don't get me wrong, I had a cousin actually who was there, and she's had to move home. And in fairness, they were under a staircase there before they came home. Like, the places was being bombed, and her 2 small kids were literally.
That's what I'm saying. Though, that was how strange we relished this. Like,
but like at the same time, then there's like going to be, they all were getting away. You know, they were like, being teachers, being nurses. I wouldn't work for that money. They'll be working for it now.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
If they can get the jobs, do you know?
Nasty, cruel person. Take that. Yeah. I wouldn't say anything bad about the Canadians, but fucking teachers. Oh my God.
No, I just think it's funny. But like, obviously, I'm happy that they're all home. But like, you know, far away hills are green, as the old saying goes.
Yeah, they're not so much.
You know,
kind of brown in Dubai, I'd say.
Far away dunes.
Yeah.
Hashtag the park.
Is this Parky Queeve?
Parky Queeve, yeah. Yeah.
I don't. You know what? I actually, would you believe it? I'm not really a GA. I'm a soccer person more than GA.
I get that off you.
So yeah, the bang of it, like.
Yeah, it does a bang.
My mother. I lived next to Turner's Cross soccer ground for a long time. When we kind of started, we got married first. We lived in Turner's Cross.
Did you go and see City a bit?
No. Like, you go, I'd be blunt about it, I'd go a few times, but like, actually the football's after getting much better.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Like, when I lived there first, the kind of mid-2000s, you'd go, and particularly then we were fully exposed to the Premier League and the Champions League, and you go, and I remember it, I went to see a match against Longford, and it was a lovely sunny evening, first match of the season, and it was there in about 10 minutes in, right? And it was just long ball. And the fella in front of me, another fucking season of this volleyball now, for fuck's sake. So I kind of thought, enough. But actually, my mother brought me to see George Best playing in Turner's Cross.
Go away, were you at that game?
Yeah, 1975. And I was small enough at the time, but what I remember, there was 9,000 people there. First of all, the smell of booze was the first thing I remember of my mother. I know I wasn't, though, I was there. But
George Best.
Yeah, George Best, exactly. But 9,000 Cork fellas came out to every time George Best touched the ball. I could have done that. The number, you're fucking overrated, boy. That whole thing. And I would see him again playing, because he played in Flower. He played a couple of games in Flower Lodge.
Parky Ring.
Or Parky Ring, yeah. But he played it, and I remember going to see him playing Drogheda there as well. But
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. No?
Yeah, it was. I remember, what I mainly remember about him was his tan.
And he had a big beard as well, didn't he?
He was gorgeous. Like, and he was, and you know, like, compared to like the other players, like, he was still an athlete in comparison.
Yeah, but, he was something else, right? But he only really shone for 3 or 4 years, though, Pat. Yeah. Like,
and you know, we all laughed. Like, it was a miserable life, I'd say. It was like people had it for, you know, he was a joke.
I remember him in the 90s, he was on one of those, you know, Saturday afternoon panel shows, you know.
Yeah. He brought him in a few times.
He was in a few times, and, you know, I used to feel a bit sad. I used to feel like, oh, Jesus, like, he's reduced to this. Like, whereas the likes of Johan Cruyff and Bobby Charlton and Pele and all the lads, they wouldn't have had to do anything like that, you know, with the talent that he had. Like, he was sensational, really. But sure, look, listen, that's it. It's terrible.
Fucking Turner's Cross in 1975. He wasn't good enough at all.
No, boy, but alcohol, boy, it absolutely. And I know we're talking about it a bit. And I had Kieran Carey on the podcast here a few weeks ago, and Jesus, it's fairly destructive when it's abused, like, you know.
When you hear that, I remember Michael Parkinson telling a story about, was it Parkinson, I think, going drinking with him, George Best, in Manchester, and they went out to some shebeen after all the pubs had closed, and there was like a keg with a kind of a tap out of it, and Best had it just into his mouth, and was just running the beer.
Christ.
Like, it was that level of destructive.
Yeah,
you know,
it's destructive, all right, yeah.
And it was kind of, your alcohol is hilarious to us, George.
Yeah.
But
his son did all right out of him, though. Callum.
He did.
He was on all those shows.
He did,
Yeah.
yeah.
Couldn't kick a ball.
No.
He got his looks.
Yeah, he did.
I'd take his looks.
Fine looking man.
Yeah. Would you do Callum if you were...
Depends on the money, I suppose. But
Yeah, same. That concludes Trending Topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan.
Again, you know that work needs to be done there, but yeah.
We'll work on that one. Pat, we're into the hard-hitting section of the podcast. The questions are going to come thick and fast. I'm not going to hold back. I know you're a journalist by trade. Okay, so you like there'll obviously be mutual respect going on here.
Yeah.
Here we
Craft.
go.
I'll be admiring the craft. I'm pointing out where you're going wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so far you haven't pointed out anything.
No.
So I'm going to give you 10 out of 10
storing it up at the
for
end.
observations.
Yeah. Okay.
So far.
I'll write notes at the end.
Brilliant. Don't give him any pen and paper, lads. What are you like, Pat? What do you like? What are you like what are you like?
Well, okay.
What do you like? Genuinely now. Who are you like?
It depends who you like. I
No,
suspect.
what do you think you are?
Okay. Oh yeah. I think I'm great. I think I'm lovely.
Yeah.
And I'm easygoing, and I'm sensible, and other people might not think that.
Sensible.
But, yeah, kind of, rational, kind of prudent. In a way, my father actually was kind of a rational, prudent, sensible, calm man.
Very interesting.
And I have notions that, but my wife now, for instance, would probably beg to differ on one or two of those.
She wouldn't think you're prudent.
Or that I'm kind of easygoing. We've that constant thing in the house as to who's easygoing. I think neither of us, in fact, are easygoing.
I think that's the way it always is, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah.
Like,
you're easygoing if you agree with the person.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
if you don't agree with me, you're not easygoing. Yeah.
But so, can you delve a little bit in prudence? Like, how are you prudent?
Like, I don't waste money really. I'm kind of boring. In that extent, like,
but do you get a joy from that though? Because like I do.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no,
I know people who are great with money and they're super proud of it.
I'd hate not to be.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, do you want to talk about solar panels? Oh boy,
I was listening to something about solar panels on the way up, and people were ringing into
do you have
news
solar
talk.
panels?
I don't, and people were ringing up going, "Ha ha ha! You all should have solar panels, you stupid fucks! Ha ha ha!"
Do you have a south face? Do you have a bungalow?
Do you have
a decent roof?
I have a decent roof. Yeah.
Do you have a south facing roof?
I fucking haven't a clue.
Okay, well, you must have, I suppose.
I suppose, yeah.
It's part of it. Must be facing.
So some part of it's facing the south, but I have a big garden as well.
So you can put a bank in there if you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
is it worth it? Have you got solar panels?
Oh, have I what? I do, yeah. I'm getting the battery next. Because basically the Chinese decided to flood the market. So they're cheap and there's grants and they'll probably pay you back in about 4 years probably.
Really? And they charge your card in as well, so your car's free.
No, you see that's because I have an electric car, but you don't. You charge the car at night on the cheap rate. They have a cheap. This is really poor. I'm even starting to bore myself.
Not at all. No,
they charge the car at night because you and I have a similar kind of thing where we'll have to drive 2 or 3 hours maybe to go to a gig. So you don't want to be eating into the massive profits that are available in stand-up comedy these days, Cornelius.
€5 for my Patreon, by the way.
Mike, come back. But like it makes, I could drive to kind of Kenmare and back for a £5 with the electric car.
Fucking hell, man, that's insane.
So, and that's because if you charge it at night.
Yeah.
At the cheap rate.
I'll have to look into it.
You'd have to look into it.
Prudent.
Yeah. But you live in, because I've noticed, right, because I know that you live in the country, like if you don't have an almost sexual love for diesel, they think you're in league with the devil. Like you have to love your diesel.
I do like my diesel now.
You see?
Yeah. Oh. I have 2 cars. I have a diesel Octavia.
Yeah.
She'd run on the schniff of it.
Yeah.
And then I have a 21-year-old Toyota Yaris and she'd run on the thought of it.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm my missus is pushing me hard now to change the Yaris to get this, and so the Skoda could be the second car and get her a new car.
Yeah, you have to get electric. Sure, you know Bernard Casey. Bernard's driving around in a Chinese
Yeah.
BYD, isn't he?
Yeah. But you bring your own beer, is it, or something?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
I was looking at it the weekend as like a spaceship. They're all like spaceships now, those new cars.
Yeah.
What have you got?
It's a Hyundai Kona.
Hyundai.
2019, but they were recalled with a dodgy battery. So if you get one, 2019 Kona, you get a 2022 battery in it.
And it's all
I'm
about
actually starting to go to sleep. Well, because it's just you're getting a new car effectively.
Yeah, new car. Yeah. So it's all about the battery life.
It's all about. Yeah.
Give me another example of prudence.
Like I've always had a pension. Like I don't want to be worrying about. I think I'm a worrier basically. So if you're a worrier, you're prudent.
I need to get a pension.
I have always put money into a pension.
Have you? I'm probably going to be starting mine late. How old are you?
I'm 59, okay. So yeah.
10 years younger than you, I still have a bit of time.
You've time. And like once you start, he's fucked.
I know I'm fucked, like. But I don't.
From solar panels to pension advice, honestly.
But what's going to happen
is... What kind of a podcast is this?
I'm going to blow up. My stand-up comedy career is going to blow up. This podcast is going to blow up. I won't need a fucking pension.
I know.
That's my plan.
Put it all on lucky number 3.
I can tell you, I'm going to have at least one new patron out of this today. And if I keep doing that for how many years before? And eventually then it'll just pay for itself.
Yeah. And my wife actually, who's annoyingly usually right about these kind of things, says that like you kind of shouldn't have a pension because they'll just ultimately take it off you and give, they'll go, you don't need money now.
Yeah.
So they'll just give the pension.
That's
you
why
have my fucking pension.
Thank you for fucking paying into your pension for me, man. I appreciate it. Could you up it? A small bit, because I have designs. Yeah. I have designs.
Up it is a word. Yeah.
That's interesting. And so what else would you say about yourself? So if you're like, if prudence is one of it, like what other characteristic would you say about yourself?
I like a laugh. I've always liked I do like fun.
Yeah. How do you have fun? How do you derive fun?
Kind of messing with another person, and kind of riffing. Like I've a 12-year-old son, particularly my daughter as well. But he's a messer, so you'll just start messing with him and just start riffing off any old shit. And I've always liked making people laugh. I presume no more than yourself, I'm sure, which is of course the black hole in our souls. Which can only be filled by affection.
That's
and
only
$5 a month into your Patreon. But
that's €5, by the way, not dollars.
Yeah, but I was, that's the American thing of calling it dollars. I'm a budding entrepreneur.
Let's go for some beers after this.
Yeah, for sure.
What were you doing? You touched on it there earlier. What were you like 25 years ago?
Well, 25 years ago.
So let's say you were 30.
I was just living in Dublin. I was working in IT still.
So you weren't doing anything creative? You weren't doing any journalism?
No. And I tried. I took a year out to become a journalist. I wrote a couple of self-published novels. With really terrible sex in them, right? I was writing from experience.
Really?
But I wrote kind of...
Oh, that's a good joke.
I tried to throw it in. But that's all good. Would you believe it? I did a master's in Dublin in international peace, but didn't stop war. Actually, I thought it would. But that was brilliant because that got me writing and also just got me thinking about how you write something. How you beginning, middle and end. It's a story. Like if you're writing, because that's writing, it's mainly writing essays and stuff. And I loved it. I liked the process. I liked that. I didn't like the academic bit of it.
Did you do your Leaving Cert in Cork?
Yeah.
And you went to college. Did you go to college in Cork?
Yeah, I did electrical engineering in UCC then. And then...
It's a big... Where did the writing come from? Where did the artistic side...
It's always what I was more interested. I remember the change of mind slip. In the leaving,
yes.
Yeah. So I had mine filled out to become a lawyer, right? Be approaching the bench and all that kind of shit that you don't actually do in the courtroom. But that I kind of knew I didn't want to be an engineer. But then it was just at that age, kind of my friends were doing. A couple of my friends were doing it. And fuck, be bothered. And then I just did it. And I don't. The only thing actually is you're saying what kind of person. I have no regrets ever. I mean, it's that old thing. Sure, what's for you won't go by you. I'd be kind of the more. You go on, I've been lucky, I have a nice life. I wouldn't choose my life to be any way different, so therefore I wouldn't go changing anything in the past. But I was always kind of knew that I didn't want to be an engineer. I was shit at it, like
Yeah.
I really was. Well, it was okay, but like I can't wire a plug. Like I had 4 years electrical engineering. I could wire it, but I did it once and I put the plug and it actually went up. So like, you know, I had no aptitude for it. And I remember fellas who were really good at it.
Yeah.
And so,
Are you good at your hands at fixing things?
No,
I'm just saying.
I don't like it, and
Yeah.
I get really frustrated quickly. And yeah, it's another thing my wife would kind of put. I can get there, but I don't like the process of getting there.
Yeah.
Whereas, for instance, writing a joke or writing a 15-minute set, I like the process
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Or I
And you're good at
love
it.
cooking. I love cooking actually, and
Do you?
shit like that. Yeah, I like cooking. The Italians made me cook. The two
Yeah.
fellas.
They don't like potatoes much in Italy. That's the only thing I'd be kind of,
Nah,
you know.
but who eats potatoes anymore? My neighbour is a potato farmer. He's just got out of the business.
Well, I'd say probably as a business now it wouldn't be great.
He said it's because
as a food.
Yeah. Oh no. Listen. Yeah. But yeah. Pasta.
You're a pasta fella. All right, pasta.
No, I
potato.
love potatoes. I beef stew before I came in here this evening, but love it.
So 25 years ago, working as an electrical engineer.
Yeah, within IT mainly.
In
It was
IT.
kind of- yeah.
How did when was the eureka moment? When was the do you know?
There wasn't one. It kind of I've always been kind of inclined to just take an opportunity if it presented itself. So I took that 2008, and then I kind of doubled down. I said, right, I'll totally give up the job in IT because that's definitely
fucking
a
class,
dead
man.
end. And I started writing. But back then, what happened was like the economy was fucked. Obviously, building and things like that were completely a whole generation of people had to emigrate. But there was still enough misery around that you could write about it. You know, people wanted to laugh. So there was money in journalism. You could make a living. You could, and I did a bit in RTE. I'm kind of on the Today Show with Dahi Amora.
I think that's mad though that you could just kind of go from one industry and come into into another industry and be quite relevant quite quickly.
Well, yeah. Kudos to my wife for kind of being there as earning actual money at the time.
Okay, so you had that
I
cushion.
could afford to have. But I was just very lucky, and people were good to me as well. Like Brendan O'Connor was very good to me. He kind of said, look, I'll give you this amount of work every week. Give it a go. See how it goes.
You need those lucky breaks in life.
You need, because particularly in a game like that where it's all about who you know, really. Obviously, back then, the Dublin media scene, they wanted to trust you. They wanted to know you.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad thing in a way, who you know. But then that life started to fizzle out. Like that boy... I was lucky that the Reggie thing came along because that work that I was doing, that's not there anymore. So there's no...
Are you still writing
I do.
Audrey
No, that's gone. That was in the Examiner. That had a great run. Like that was it 8 or 9 years in the Examiner. And then Reggie came out of that as a character in Ask Audrey. But again, the money for writing Ask Audrey was grand. But and I still do a TV review column, which I really like doing for the Examiner. And that's the only regular writing journalism work I do now. The rest of it is all Reggie.
And well, I'm going to ask you a little bit about that there in a minute now. But what have I got here for you now? Oh yeah, so this is something that I'm interested in, right? So journalism, right? So when you're a journalist, you need to be detached. There's a detachment that comes with it, right? But comedy, then it's more of of a personal perspective.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of a natural kind of meeting of.
Well, I was never a reporter either, or an opinion or a political. I was features. I was do first person pieces. I used to do comedy pieces, and then I do the odd. But they were always kind of comedy pieces, really.
Yeah.
They'd be kind of zeitgeisty. It was a great time to be doing zeitgeisty things.
Yeah.
First of all, the country was broke, and then people started to come back, and there was just. I think coffee was a good example of the way things changed or the way people started. And then mobile phones became a thing and social media became a thing.
And when you were writing that then, Pat, right? I mean, where were you getting your, I suppose, your inspiration? Are you where are you picking up? Are you sitting around in coffee shops watching people? Are you watching the news?
Obviously, you don't admit it to the people, but you're basically listening to your friends and your family. And it was my wife. My wife isn't entirely in fairness, I get it. She kind of went, fuck it, I wish you weren't kind of.
Yeah.
Because I used to write a parenting column for the Examiner, and then I wrote a book called No Sex, No Sleep. And again, my wife not delighted about any of that, which was fair enough.
Excuse me.
But I loved doing that. But then she correctly said, look, the kids are getting a bit older. I don't want them being kind of they're journaled every week.
Yeah.
I didn't mind too much, but I had to kind of stop.
Yeah. No, and there's a time for everything, isn't there? And there's a place called Stop as well.
Yeah.
Is Reggie a prod?
No, he wishes he was.
Does he wish he was?
wishes he was. I kind of figured that one out. Like, so Reggie, he's based on my uncle, actually, my Uncle Joe, kind of partially. Uncle Joe played rugby for Highfield, and he lived in a small, he lived in Bishopstown, but he did great. No, he came from that 60s. Cork was kind of booming in the 60s and early 70s, and he was involved in the Kinsale gourmet thing. He used to flog drink. He worked for Gilby's. Great character, bit larger than life character. And played rugby, and he said the most Cork thing that anyone ever said to me. He said, "Patrick, I've been all around the world." I think he went to France twice. "I've been all around the world, Patrick, but you'll never get the lifestyle we've here in Cork." And it's kind of true. I know that's the most Cork thing to say. But so that was kind of Reggie. That was the idea for Reggie, but I just made him really posh and from the Black Rock Road. But he's not. He's a Catholic. No, he went to Prez. I went to Prez, but I was from the like. There were Reggies in Prez, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
Presentation Brothers for people, but but just those kind of notion-y people.
Sure, we all know them. Like.
And my cousin lives in Warrington, and he said he watches them, and he said I don't need to explain them to people here because there's a Reggie in every road.
Yeah, he's not obviously he's a Cork-based character, but like there's a Reggie in Australia, there's a Reggie.
Yeah. And that's the trick, is to kind of almost to get him to get him to another audience. You need to almost take out. Funnily enough, people don't get the joke. Just putting Carrigaline into a line isn't funny for people.
Yeah,
in
San
it should
Francisco.
be. I can't believe they haven't heard of Carrigaline, but yeah. So you kind of have to universalize. Although I love John Spallan's line. The Cork musician who said, people said to him, you got to stop writing songs about Ballincollig. You'll never. And he said, well, people write songs about Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
If it's universal, they'll get it.
Yeah. He's right. He's right.
That song was about growing up, moving on, kind of a thing. Like, it wasn't about Ballincollig, really.
The Dunstores girl is a great. Like,
Yeah.
They don't have done that. Like the Walmart, Walmart chick.
Yeah.
Tell me about Reggie. Like, when did you kind of realise? Hold on a second here now. This fella could be.
It was COVID, and we were recording the Ask Audrey actually as a podcast on Red FM on Dave Max Drive. So we kind of had a few voices, people doing it, and then Audrey would come on and give her shit advice and whatever. And Reggie was one of the characters, and we couldn't record then during COVID. We couldn't go into the studio, so just out of fear. And I was in Cork one day. I was on the South Mall, and I put the phone on my face and Reggie, I own half the. I literally 10 seconds of thing, and I just put up my Twitter. I kind of didn't think twice about it, but I think it was just boredom almost. Like, and I just got 20 likes or 30 likes. I was going, fuck, it's weird. And then when lockdown came and we were all at home, lockdown was great because it presented us with context. Everyone was going through the same thing. So, remember you could buy takeaway drink. There's people walking around with pints, walking up home with pints on a tray, kind of stuff like that. So you had all that new stuff happening. So it was ripe for comedy. So I just kept doing videos, and then they just kind of got traction. Actually, WhatsApp groups someone told me, WhatsApp groups for GA clubs and soccer clubs, but who were usually had nothing to talk about because there was no training or no matches. And all was happening in them was people sharing COVID numbers, like they'd gone really bleak. So people who were doing videos like myself, and I suppose, were you doing videos at the time?
I was doing videos in COVID as well.
They were getting shared because they were positive.
WhatsApp groups were a thing that used to blow my mind.
That's how you go viral.
Yeah,
WhatsApp groups.
It is actually. Yeah, I often got a text now out in Australia of my brother-in-law going, "Look what was sent to me here."
Right.
Like, do you know what I mean?
That's
like,
when I actually knew. You said it. It's when somebody said, "I just got sent this from somebody who doesn't know that I know you."
Yeah,
that kind of thing. And
when that happens, it's kind of cool.
WhatsApp was when it's that was kind of the feeling, but. The trick then was to keep it going, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then,
so I suppose it brings me on nicely to the next question, right? Which is, so you studied, and then you studied for electrical engineering. You left that to become a writer, a journalist, or like a feature writer, comedy-esque, and then that kind of dries up. We're in COVID. You're starting to do these videos, and then you say to yourself, I'm going to bring this to the stage.
No, well, I wanted, I said, because I'd loved, but it didn't even occur to me. I had no idea what to do next. And the everyman, Sophie, Motley, I think is her name. She was
That's right, Sophie
she was
Motley.
creative. You know, Sophie was
Yeah.
great. So Sophie was the creative director in the Everyman at the time. She just got on to me and said, would you do a stage show? And you know, they were kind of, oh yes, of course. Fucking hell. And then, do you know any director that you'd like to work with? I knew one, Pat Kiernan, you know, the guy Cork
I know Pat, yeah.
Pat. So Pat was in my class in school.
Yeah.
So I'd been in touch with him. He'd very kindly gone on to me and kind of well done with Reggie or whatever. I was out of touch with him. And so I said, I know one director. And that was the best thing that happened, because he basically whipped me into shape in terms of, you know, if you're going to get up and do 70 minutes in front of people.
Sure, he was the artistic director in the Everyman, wasn't he, Pat Kiernan?
No, but he was Corkadurka, so he was like Disco Pigs. So he, Cillian Murphy, he was the guy that got Cillian Murphy into acting. You know, they used to do those amazing productions, the Midsummer stuff, like up on Patrick's Hill and stuff like that. He's still a director. But he's just a good, like I thought he'd be because Corkadurka was kind of cool and edgy, and I thought but he was actually just very practical about, look, you know, there's an audience down there, you're going to have to tell them something different, you need to be doing something different every 10 minutes, you know, you need to rev it up here, you need to slow it down, otherwise they're going to, you know, all those kind of practicalities of being on stage.
So that's more from like blocking in terms of a play almost?
Yeah, I mean, so it was commissioned as, you know, they commissioned me to write a stage play, basically. But he said, look, no, don't do a play. I think I wrote one, actually, a real shit one. He said, no, don't do that. And he start again, we'll do it as, using some of this content, but do it as An Evening with Reggie, which was a great idea. But so from his crazy mind, what you would like to know about my life. So it kind of was basically him introducing himself on stage to the audience. And then, but like there was the lighting was brilliant. They had a really brilliant group working on it. It was a big production. But for me, it was just great that.
Was that your first time on stage?
As the Everyman.
Fucking
yeah,
hell.
it's the first time ever, yeah. And like,
With
I'll
that
never
character.
forget.
That's...
Yeah.
Because I was talking to you beforehand, before we came on, and I was like, your story is so interesting to me because I'm a professional stand-up comedian. I've been doing comedy the guts of 20 years. I've gone the route that 99.9% comedians go, which is open mics, 5-minute spots, 7-minute spots, 10-minute spots, half an hour hosting, opening, closing. And
You fucking hate me.
but like there would be like there would be a bit of snobbery now, all right, definitely, right, but not on when you find out the work that goes behind it. Do you know what I mean? Like there'd be a bit of like that influencer there now. Look at them, they're selling tickets there. Sure, they'll be shit. They won't know anything. But like I actually went to. I told them I actually went to see that Everyman. I got one of the preview shows. I think you did a preview show.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And there was a few invites sent out, and I was doing my show in the Everyman later that year or next year. So they said, would you like to come along? And who did I go with now? I think I went with Noel. And like I thought it was class. I thought the production was great. Yeah. But I wouldn't have known that it was your first time, man. Because I probably would have seen you.
We had rehearsed, you know.
But still having to do it in front of an audience is not, that's like a challenge match or training.
Do you know, I used to do a lot of debating in school and college.
You were comfortable,
so I was used to standing in front of 250 pissed people who were aggressive. Although most people were back then, it was just because they had nothing else on a Saturday night. But you know that. But so I knew I could do that bit. It was more I'm sure you know this as well. Like it's more how do I put a shape on this that it works from minute 1 to minute 60? That you're kind of
engaging the audience.
That was the craft that probably just picked up from working with Pat.
How many of those did you do?
I did 2 of those commissioned via the Everyman. So I did another one then after. And then that was Reggie's Guide to Social Climbing. And then it was Pat and I always wanted to go, look, I want to get out and tour. You couldn't, these shows were big enough lighting wise. You probably saw the production was pretty big. It wasn't built to tour. And the Everyman isn't a touring company. So there was no way I could bring it anywhere else. And I wanted to go to Dublin because I knew. So what Pat said, do a stand-up show. So I knew enough that to put 70 minutes together.
So when was the first time? This is nerdy now, but I don't care. When was the first time you did a stand-up show with that character?
The first time would have been in Ballycotton.
In the Sea Church?
In Sea Church. It was the Reggie for President, and I remember shitting it. I remember going, "This is
what's that? That's 200, is it?"
I know it's 150, but it's a different, like it's a different feel in a way.
Well, it's a church. For those of you who don't know, Ballycotton, the venue is a church. It's an old Protestant church that has been recommissioned into a venue now for live music and
it's
comedy.
brilliant.
It's unreal when it's full.
Yeah.
I've done it when it's been not full, we'll say like 50, 60%. And I've done it when it's full and they're chalk and cheese.
I'd imagine.
I've done all sorts of gigs there. It's always been support or as part of a festival. They have a festival down there.
Yeah.
And when it's full, it's absolutely fantastic. But when it's not full, it can be a bit challenging.
Echoey. Any of those churches, you want to fill a church.
Yeah, you want to fill a church.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the priests are under pressure at the moment. You seem to be doing all right.
They should do more comedy.
Yeah, they should do more comedy,
But yeah, I just remember, again, though, I'd learned the lesson of, write it, rewrite it, prune it, overwrite it, write 20% more than you need.
Writing is rewriting.
And writing is rewriting and pruning. Get rid of, if you get the feeling of, I got rid of 20% that I actually thought was pretty good, that means the rest, even that's a psychological trick. And then just, learning the kind of grammar of you need to get a joke in early, you need to get them on side early, you need to engage them early, don't romesh early. You could earn your romesh.
Do you do crowd work?
I don't. I do, a bit. I don't do where you're from, but I build it into kind of, is there anyone here from? And then I get people up on stage. That's kind of, I'm always doing that. I did that twice in the Everyman. It was more what Pat said, just you'll have to do it. It's a great break. Once you get someone up on stage, people love that.
Well, I'll tell you now, it's very interesting you should say that, right? Because I'm currently trying to write my next show at the moment, and there's a scene in it where I think I might be bringing people on stage.
Yeah.
And I know there's another comedian, Tig Devaney, that brings the audience into his show.
Right.
And I know I've seen you, when I went to see you, you had a table and chairs and you brought a woman up on stage.
That's right, yeah.
It was hilarious. And then you had other people up at the end of it. And the Unbelievables, of course, were the first, I suppose, in Ireland to do it. And it definitely does, as you said, it breaks that wall with the audience. But it's actually quite difficult to do it right. I've done it with improv when I've been doing the improv with Snatch, and when I
never do any improv. I wouldn't even try it. I couldn't imagine.
It's good. It's good fun.
I'm not. I just don't think I'd be any good at it. When I get someone up on stage, there's usually a kind of. So, for instance, funnily enough, today I was rewriting a bit of one of the stage characters because it wasn't quite working the last time I did it. And so if you've 5 questions, or the other thing now I've taken doing is doing little mini plays where you give them scripts. So you've great fun with that because you go, do that. Could you do that? You can mock, you can be a director, and you can. But what it also does is it gives you a script that I know the entrance to this, I know the exit.
Yeah.
So it can't get flabby, because the danger is if you bring somebody up and Irish people are, I think, part of it. Although I was in Belgrade, would you believe it, recently. A friend of mine is doing an art festival in Belgrade. And
Jesus,
I
you're
went
very
out
well
and
travelled.
Rich.
Belgrade and
I know.
Germany.
Belgrade was brilliant.
That's a place, isn't it?
But no, Belgrade's in Serbia.
For fuck's sake.
Geography.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I went out and I thought getting people up on stage here now could be, they were fucking brilliant. They were up for it as well. People love
to be in it.
You need to bring them up and you need to make them feel they're going to be looked after, and you're not going to just use them, and then once they realise that, they'll start having the crack.
Tell me this. So, Reggie, is there any other? Is Reggie going to be at the forefront, do you think, of your next show or the next few shows?
Yeah, I think so. I want to do a TV show. So there's we're at the early stages of trying to pitch a TV show with people, but I don't really want to do anything myself. I kind of like having this persona that I can kind of invest things in, and that's part of the jokes come, because I don't know if I'd make a good stand-up myself at this stage.
What about other characters?
I don't think so. Somebody said to me, Reggie's become less and less of a character. I used to do the voice quite like that.
Yeah.
Actually, very hard to do jokes when you're speaking, when you're enunciating everything. It's actually quite hard to tell a joke because you're fucked if you try to speed up, and you can't. You have to speed up if you're going to tell it. So I found someone said to me recently, I just sound like myself now.
Yeah.
I don't. So Reggie isn't that far off me, but it just gives me a kind of mask that I can say terrible things about people from Watergrass Hill.
What are we looking at? We're lifting. What's a week in your life like now at the moment?
Well, work-wise, I only have one. Well, I'm on Today's Show maybe once a week, twice every 3 weeks, kind of a thing. I'd have one examiner thing. You know it as well. I stopped doing the videos. I'm back doing them now 3 or 4 a week. You need to. That's the only way to sell tickets.
It is the only way, isn't it?
Yeah. And you can try all your promotional stuff and all that, but people want to be. You need to go. I can still do this or whatever.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing it. Once I kind of got myself, and then I'm, you probably know as well. You're onto gigs, venues. You're making sure I'm thinking about the next show. Like that'll have to be ready to go, imagery wise, for September to get it booked into places so that it's for sale on Christmas. So. And then I coach a soccer team, under 12, Church Villa.
Do you?
Putting out the cones now, but love that. That's great crack.
Is your son on that team?
He is, yeah.
That's great.
So I love that,
and
he likes it, and I like that.
It's something to talk about as well, And
I'm friends. My friend is doing it. His son is on the team. My son's friend. He's friend. I'm his friend.
Yeah.
And we great crack, and and I. Sometimes on a Thursday, all right, if it's raining, you're kind of training, but once you get down there, and their kids are great, like
meditation, man,
brilliant. They're great. Great.
That's class. Now that's class. I didn't know that about you. That's very. I coach with my uncle as well, under 10s, and it is it takes you away out of yourself.
Totally.
Yeah. And I enjoy it as well. It's a nice aspect.
I actually like cones.
Do you like cones?
I like putting out cones. It's kind of that kind of level of play, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What position does your boy play?
So he's striker because he's got notions. But actually, the other day he kind of picked himself as right back, so he's kind of drifting back. Like they'll under 12 now, they play 9-a-side. So next year they'll be full pitch 11s, and that's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
But the best thing about it is because the club is kind of small and all we're not particularly. There's some brilliant players there, but it's not aspirational. They're not going to play Premier League with the teams we have, so everyone gets to play. We've just about enough for 2 teams to play under 12.
Is there a league?
Yeah, it's the Cork Schoolboys League.
Are you looking at that league a lot?
We're playing Blarney now on match against. Well, once this goes, we will know the result will already be decided once this goes out. But Blarney United on Sunday at home.
And do you hate them?
Well, I'll start spreading the rumours about them. Obviously, we'll start pumping the toxic stuff into the ether on the WhatsApp group over the next couple of days.
Have you any ambitions beyond your current success? I suppose you were talking about TV there a minute ago.
I always just love, I always think the height of achievement is a good TV comedy, like the height of other than your matchday reports as its own art. But as an artistic, like the thing I would admire the most. I was watching Arrested Development there again recently.
I love Arrested Development,
as if a lesson in how to be funny, how to make a funny TV show. And funnily enough,
silly is the thing. It's so silly. And people
follow a joke. Keep going. Yeah. Don't be silly if you want.
Yeah.
The kind of story was interesting that they got commissioned. It was going to be a big production, proper cameras, and then the funding kind of got pulled away at the last moment. So, right, lads, basically, you don't have that much money here. There's no divas, there's no cab, there's no food, which is why, you can see them almost being shot in kind of the one house. They're doing 50 scenes. But like the craft in just the jokes and, squeeze in another joke, squeeze in another. Same with Family Guy, actually.
Yeah.
Don't miss an opportunity to make people laugh.
Yeah, the season 1 and 2 are just so joke laden, man. Great show. Arrested Development, and it's a good shout. Sometimes if I'm on Netflix or something like that, and I'm like, just what do I want to watch? I want to just watch an episode of something. And if I want to watch something funny, I'll throw on the American Office, the English Office, or Arrested Development.
Yeah, the same. Yeah, or Extras would be the
Extras
other.
Is another good one as well.
Astonishing.
Yeah.
But I think.
Extras doesn't get enough credit, actually.
Oh, Extras is the masterpiece of like every bit of it is brilliant. Derry Girls as well, actually. is
Derry Girls is good.
And we're watching Young Offenders now from season 1 with my 12-year-old. There's a bit of looking away at some places, but that's great as well. Young Offenders, really funny.
I have to say, no, I'm guilty of not watching any of the Young Offenders. I saw the movie and I I'd say it's more down to just not having any time, but I've heard it. Like, we had Ross on here a couple of weeks ago. He wrote an episode of it, and I know friends that are in it.
Yeah.
But I've never actually watched any of it, so
it's a great old watch.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and the other thing is they're just great comic actors in it. You know, I know Shane Casey a bit. And just, I had a brief bit in it,
Had
the
you?
last in series 3, I think.
I think I'm waiting for my boys to be a bit older so that we can watch it, so that they'll enjoy it.
It's,
Do you know
it's
that
a bit
kind of way?
icky parts of it. You would want them to be. How old are yours?
They're 9 and 6 at the moment. now,
You'd
so.
have child services being called if you were sat down to watch younger films.
Would it? Yeah.
Yeah. I'd call them, to be honest with you.
But the movie was decent. No, I have to say, I remember the movie was decent enough.
Yeah, there's just, you know, there's a couple of scenes, all right, where they go for it. Like,
Yeah.
but you know, I just Arrested Development, just mainly just fucking how the surprise element of it. Like, it's constantly going, I hadn't seen that coming, I didn't see that coming. You're kind of,
Tobias is just
they're all, yeah, I know.
like, I swear to God, he gives me life. And what's your man, the brother, the magician? What's his name? Fucking hell.
No, I was watching
He's a great
an
actor.
interview with him, but they're great actors though. And
They're all great actors. Bateman's another great actor.
I'm writing a script at the moment now, which I realise, like, in the end, this is going to be about acting, you know, story and the jokes and everything, but like, really, it's acting. Like, Terry Girls is, to me, a classic as well. It's
sensational. And the acting in Derry Girls is I think great acting is when it doesn't look like it's acting. Like,
no, precisely. But the whole point of Derry Girls is supposed to look like you're in it's a kitchen sink drama.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's well written, very well written. But just the acting is and nobody's weak. The problem is if you have a really funny comic actor in something and the rest aren't up to it, it just kind of capsizes.
Yeah. Do you know where I see a bit of that now is, and it's super successful, is Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Yeah.
Do you know, and I, like, Brendan O'Carroll is absolute genius, wrote that series, created that character. I actually was in a play he did years ago, and it was a great play. And as a stand-up, he was filthy. He was absolutely filthy, but super talented.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I watch that, I'm like, he's the only one that's good in this.
Yeah. No, that was the problem.
Would that be a fair assessment?
No, I think it was. Like,
And I'm not a great actor myself now, like, but I definitely would be brilliant. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Netflix.
Available.
Or just on the Patreon, whatever.
Yeah. Or send your cash, really.
Or send the cash.
You haven't time for acting.
Yeah.
That was one thing about, you know, people are kind of snotty about Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember watching it's kind of context. If you're watching the Christmas special and you're a bit giddy, just giggling at the kind of just the lighthearted, literally like the foolishness of it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot to be said for foolishness. In
Well,
comedy.
I think silly, like, even Fawlty Towers, like, I mean, Fawlty Towers is one of the greatest shows of all time.
Yeah.
But like, Basil Fawlty is falling nearly in every, do you know what I mean? There's some physical,
But that's what
this physical hilarity in context or out of context of what's going on. And like, that's just silly. And like, I love that in comedy. I love that when someone sits in a chair and the chair breaks.
Yeah.
Do you know? And
if you can see the writing, like, if it's too, and I actually don't like American comedies typically, because first of all the characters sound the same because it's written in this kind of, it's kind of tone of it is I don't know what's the word, but it's just
there's a commonality in the writing. All right, it's like when you mentioned there earlier on about AI with the copy. I find that, like, you could be watching a sitcom and it's just a fucking carbon copy of another sitcom of another sitcom of another sitcom, and they like, but that's how they get commissioned. They have to be this certain way for them to get in the door. Where that's what's beautiful, I suppose, about you picking up the phone that day, walking down the South Mall, and sticking it around.
Yeah.
And just going for it.
Yeah.
And then what was born out of that potentially could it be a TV show, for argument's sake? We never know, right?
We'll see.
And touch wood it will. And do you know what? I'd be brilliant in it. You know, as one of the leads.
You will be brilliant in it.
Yes,
As Reggie.
As Reggie.
Reggie's stunt double. Reggie with the beard, the fully grown beard.
I could be your long lost brother, fucking Shawnee.
Yeah.
The runt of the litter, coming back to claim my inheritance. So
Reggie has a kind of a, because you know the way that was the interesting thing in Arrested Development, where the main character was the only level-headed one who was trying to keep the rest of them. Everyone else was a fuck up, but he was the.
Yeah.
So Reggie's obviously kind of a fuck up, but you know, he's got a brother who's an even bigger fuck up. And looking at, you know, I gotta say,
you know what I mean?
I can see you.
I'll put on weight, man. I'll come after Manjaro for you. All right.
No, there's no need for that.
Okay, I'll stay on
it. That's a whole storyline, like.
Okay.
That you're a disgrace. You just didn't have the self-discipline to keep away from the fucking feet for your breakfast.
Being honest about it, that's kind of my life. Yeah, self-discipline is a big issue with me. So yeah, it's written. Yeah, look, just getting sorted out. Can I get a little bit of an advance?
How do you mean?
Just cash. Have you anything on you now?
I don't want to carry cash. Myself and the Queen of England. Listen, I'll give you half a bottle of kids' water, which is what you gave me.
Pat, it's been absolutely fantastic to talk to you. One last question. It's a small bit of bad news. Unfortunately, you have been sentenced to death for a crime you didn't commit, and there's no getting out of it.
Nice thing happened.
You're in jail. Now, the good thing is the jailer is a huge Reggie fan, and he can't believe this is happening, but it's beyond his pay grade. He can't do anything about it. But what he can do is he can be nice to you. And he's come along. He said, look, Pat, you can have a starter, a main course, and a dessert, and you can have whatever you want, man, and a drink to go. Compliment each one of those meals.
Okay.
So what are you having for your starter?
Am I going to be hanged?
You can be hung, drawn, and quartered if you want to.
You know, if you're hanged, you shit
All
yourself.
the balls will come out.
So I wouldn't. Do you know what I'd have actually? If that's
Never
my
thought of
last
that.
meal, like
We'll get him to shoot you.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, even at that, I think I'd be inclined to have chocolate bars for all 3 courses. Because it's my last meal. Like, it's not like I don't want. I don't want to. So
I love that answer.
I'd have a whisper, definitely.
Oh my fucking God! With a cup of tea.
Yeah. You know this Puka Joy? And this sounds like kind of wankery hipster stuff, no, but it's kind of an orangey, lemony tea.
I've seen it.
It's well named. So
Puka.
I'd have which either you know what?
This is your
it would
starter.
break my heart to be having a cup of Joy 5 minutes before.
You can have whatever you want now.
I mean, good. Okay, so I'd have a whisper. I wouldn't bother with the drink. Fuck it. I'd be kind of keen to get it over with.
All right.
To be honest.
Okay.
I wouldn't with a cup of tea, but fuck like. Honestly, am I really enjoying this? Give me half a bottle of kids' water. A whisper. I would say a Star Bar, previous Star Bar, not the current ones, where there's no bite in it.
Okay.
And lint, those lint balls, one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Can I just as you mentioned the Star Bar there, right? I have an issue there with the, do you know the Boost Bar?
Oh, maybe it's Boost. It is.
It used to be the Moro. Do you remember the Moro?
Oh, yeah.
The Moro now.
We call it Morrow, but look.
Well, I call it Moro because I'd always have more.
Moro.
But I think, is that what you're talking about? Because that was...
Yeah, maybe it's...
Because I was an addict of the Moros.
It's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
Where the kind of the caramel would fall out the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So that would be a child.
So you're talking a whisper, a Moro.
Yeah. And I'll be kind of a bit like, in a modern restaurant, just bring it as a ready. Like, I don't want to have a starter, really. I'm dying here. Like, so
yeah, he's gone.
Throw them out on the table.
So would you be happy to be hung then? Because, like, obviously...
There's not much to come out.
There's not much to come out.
But that's the one thing that did strike me about hanging, though, that like just the indignity of shitting yourself.
Yeah.
What was the last thing you did? I shot myself.
Shot myself there now, yeah. So, like, I suppose, like, if you, like, I think there's something kind of cool about being shot as well, like, if you're a martyr, like, put him up against the wall, shoot him.
I'm being killed for a crime I didn't commit, really. So I'm fucking really. I'd be going for a lethal injection or something. You know? Or maybe an appeal.
You want to go for an appeal?
I'd go for an appeal.
You're the first person to ask for an appeal.
One final appeal, like honestly, like
we'll see what the crack is.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see what the crack is.
But I'll still get the bars.
We'll give you the food. We'll let you know in the morning about the appeal. And sure, look, God is good.
Send me on the things.
God is good. Come here. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That was brilliant. Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, do you want to pimp out your shows now?
Fucking what?
Yeah,
I thought you'd never ask. Mind your stupid website. ReggieBlackrockRoad.com. Tour dates on there. So actually, you said you're in Coachford in May, is it?
I am, yeah.
I think I'm there later on the year, but September. I'm in Kinsale, in St. Catherine's. I'm in Connelly's in Lepp. I'm in Dolan's in Limerick. Kind of they're the ones that are coming. Ballincollig, Whitehorse and Ballincollig. Coming up, and I'm in the Kilbrittain Festival in August.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
We'll put a link to your website.
I'll say ReggieBlackrockRoad.com is the...
And we'll put it into the body here as
there.
well so people can go straight onto your website. And come and support live comedy, lads. Come and support live comedy.
Otherwise we'll fucking stop and go back to working in IT.
Yeah. And he can't even fucking wire the plug.
Fucking
do you know what I mean?
laughing then, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be your fault.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Anyway, listen, staying by the wall. Good night, Irene. See you in my dreams.